All right, let's talk about the gaslighting that's been going on about this war in Iran. Trump tells a group of children that if it weren't for his war in Iran, we'd all be blown to smithereens.
We just broke every record, and now we're going to take a hit because we have to make a journey down to Iran to take the nuclear weapon. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Remember, we sent that beautiful B-2 bomber in, and we blew up their nuclear potential. It was obliterated, for those that are not aware, and to a point where it would take them weeks to dig down, and we wouldn't let them dig down. We have our eyes on it all the time. But it was a very important thing. So we would have had an Iran with a nuclear weapon, and maybe we wouldn't all be here right now. I can tell you the Middle East would have been gone, Israel would have been gone, and they would have trained their sights on Europe first and then us, because they're sick people. These are sick people. And we're not going to let lunatics have a nuclear weapon. The power of a nuclear weapon is something I don't even want to talk about. But it's not going to happen. And we have beaten them badly.
Arguably, it is sick. It takes a sick person and a terrible person to tell a group of children that if it weren't for your war and your B-2 bomber, that they would be blown to smithereens and that Israel would be blown to smithereens. So there he is, gaslighting children. I mean, this is the type of conversation that I think a lot of parents would be upset at if they went to a family gathering and, Uncle Jack sits down, or Uncle Don here sits down and says, well, little one, if it weren't for that war, you'd be blown to smithereens. Moms would come running around the corner saying, what are you trying to do? Give them nightmares? And this is what good old Uncle Donnie here is doing, Grandpa Donnie here in the White House, scaring these children. This is the gaslighting. I mean, this is the attempt at gaslighting, starting with the youngest of our generations, is telling them, look, if it weren't for this war, which, by the way, when your parents were your age, we told them the same thing, that one day, soon, 2 weeks, in fact, Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon and blow them to smithereens. Well, it didn't work on them, and so now we're going to try it on you. The gaslighting doesn't stop with Donald Trump in the White House and with little children. Naftali Bennett, the former prime minister of Israel, also told us Americans here in this clip I'm going to show you that if we don't support Israel, well, we might just find ourselves having a little 9/11 attack.
The reality is that Israel is a democracy, is the best ally America can have.
And NATO's not helping.
Imagine for a moment we don't exist, okay? And you've got the Middle East festering with jihadists and Al-Qaeda type and ISIS and Hezbollah. We know what'll happen. They're going to hit the Twin Towers, 9/11.
You were in New York when that happened.
I was in Manhattan when it happened. I saw those buildings on fire. That's what happens when you say the Middle East isn't our problem, we don't care. So the radical Islamists will come to the big Satan, to Manhattan, to California, to America, but with nuclear ballistic missiles. And by having Israel, you do not need to send hundreds of thousands of boots on the ground, because we, Israelis, are 10 million boots on the ground, always here. Yeah. This aircraft carrier called Israel is not going anywhere. We're here to stay. We're not asking, and we never asked America to fight for us. We're fighting right now in the air together. We can defend ourselves. We do need America to have our back.
Are you confused by that message? Because I just was. We don't need you to fight our wars for us. We'll do it together. They've never sent us any troops. And in fact, right now, they're hoping for Americans to get on the ground in Iran. They're not going to send any of their troops to Iran. No, they're busy taking Lebanon, and they're still busy taking Gaza. That's what they're doing. So that's what their troops are for, taking land, while we're occupied with their big enemy, Iran. Yes, they are doing some, they are in the sky with us against Iran right now, but that's it. They won't even put boots on the ground in Iran. So more lies. They've actually never offered troops for any of our Middle East wars that we fought for them. Not once. Afghanistan, Iraq, never have the Israelis ever fought side by side with Americans. Never happened. So, but we don't need you to fight our wars for us. But if you don't fight our wars for us, then another 9/11 style attack is going to happen to you. This one makes me really nervous. And I think because, it's bad enough that Grandpa Don was over there trying to gaslight children. But this one makes me really nervous. And the reason is so many Americans have turned their backs on Israel. So many Americans are now not in support of Israel, that they're desperate. They're desperate enough, I think, to stage a false flag attack against a lot of Americans. They're going to be very clever, very crafty. They're going to try really hard to make sure that we pin it on the Iranians or whoever they think that we should pin it on, so that to gaslight our youth, especially, back into the fold, to gaslight our youth into supporting Israel. This one makes me really nervous. What are they going to plan? Would it work? I think that if they did a false flag on American soil, I don't think it would work anymore. I think they would try it. It would get a lot of Americans killed, but I don't think in the end it would work. So it'd be for nothing. And Americans, if anything, would turn on them even more because we know they did it, that they're the actual terrorists. They were the first, Israelis. You could look this up. This is like in the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's not a lie. Israelis were actually the very first to ever commit any terrorist attacks in the Middle East. If you look it up, Israelis, they weren't Israelis at the time. Israel wasn't a country, but Zionists were the first terrorists, the first real terrorists who introduced the concept of terrorism to the Middle East. So, but no, it's everybody else who's the terrorist. It's everybody else. Here's more gaslighting that we're seeing. The White House came out with this tweet that we're fighting this war. I don't know if you realize this, but it's imperative because we're fighting this war to open the Strait of Hormuz, because it was the Iranians who've been terrorizing us with their closure of the Strait of Hormuz for the last 46 years or something, 47 years. Here's the tweet. For decades, Iran has extorted the whole world by weaponizing the Strait of Hormuz to their terroristic will. Project Freedom will crush that threat and reopen the global commerce trade through the strait. Wait, what? The strait has always been open. And in fact, the only reason why it ever closed was because you started a war. That was it. It's actually been open for free trade this entire time. More free than other straits that charge, like through the Panama Canal. No, actually, the Strait of Hormuz has been free trade and actually free. And now it isn't. And, now you're trying to gaslight us into believing that, well, we have to fight this war because they've kept it closed for 47 years. The White House goes on to say in this image with Pete Hegseth here, to what remains of Iran's forces, if you attack American troops or innocent commercial shipping, you will face overwhelming and devastating American firepower. We prefer this to be a peaceful operation, but are locked and loaded to defend our people, our ships, our aircraft, and this mission without hesitation. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. I think that's what Iran said. We attacked them. They didn't attack first. We attacked them. They're defending their people and their country by closing off the Strait of Hormuz and making sure that ships don't go near their shore where they could lob more attacks. And of course, they know that there's economic pain and wars are won in the economy, really. Fundamentally, that's where a lot of them are won and lost. So more gaslighting, just a lot of gaslighting with this war. Are people falling for this, do you think? Do you think people actually, like in your personal life, when you're out and about, when you're at work, do you hear people say, well, we have to fight this war because they closed the Strait of Hormuz? What are we going to do? Our gas prices are going up to like $6 a gallon. So we have to fight this war. Are you hearing that in your life? Are people actually falling for this? They were going to get a nuke in 2 weeks. Here's Donald Trump admitting that the United States, the empire, have just become a bunch of lawless pirates. Next.
Turn your ship around. Evacuate your engine room immediately. And you see all these guys running out of there. Now, they're 5 miles away, and one shot into the engine room blew up the engine room. The ship stopped. They used tugboats, and then we landed on top of it. On top of everything else, we then land on top of it, and we took over the ship. We took over the cargo, took over the oil. It's a very profitable business. Who would have thought we were doing that? We're like pirates. We're sort of like pirates. But we're not playing games because, for 47 years, Iran has been pushing everybody around.
Oh, really? Iran has been pushing everybody around for 47 years. I'm pretty sure a lot of countries have something to say about that, about who's actually been pushing them around. So there he is. He says, we're like pirates. We're sort of like pirates. This is him speaking Friday at the Forum Club of the Palm Beaches dinner in Florida, talking about the war in Iran and talking about us being pirates. And certainly, I mean, we kidnapped a leader of a foreign country, Venezuela, and basically extorted them for oil. So yeah, we are like pirates. We blew up a lot of fishermen. Maybe some were drug boats, but I don't remember when the last time in this country dealing drugs or selling drugs in any way was the death penalty, like what you'd get in Thailand or the Philippines. I mean, we've become pirates. And now we're saying we want Iran's oil. We want to take. And this has caused so many Americans, this is the shame of the whole thing. This is the shame of it all, is that we used to be so proud to be Americans. We used to, really feel like our country fought for freedom. And maybe it never did, but we at least thought it did. We at least hoped it did. We believed it did. But now the mask is off. And now we all see that no, America's just fighting for profit. And that is something that a lot of people have been saying for a very long time, because it's true. I mean, when you look back historically, a lot of our wars were fought for profit, profiteering, pirating, basically. But now we're just saying it out loud blatantly and laughing about it. And the world has caught on to this. I mean, luckily, Americans are not despicable people. I mean, there are some, of course, like in every group, but by and large, Americans are against what is going on. Americans find shame in all of this. And because of that, the world sympathizes with American people, certainly doesn't like our government, and we commiserate together in that Americans don't have control over the government. They don't have control over our government, and our government runs the world. And neither of us, Americans nor non-Americans, have any control over it. That we're all just at its mercy. Unlike Israelis, the problem with Israelis and why they're hated collectively around the world is because the Israeli people have shown themselves to support their government and the actions, to support genocide, to cheer it on, and to actually require more of it. They're going more extreme. They want more. They don't feel like it's been enough. And that has caused the world to say, wow, not only is your government bad, but you're bad too. And if this government were suddenly out, you would still be doing this. But with Americans, there's a hope, right? There's the hope that the American people will wake up and realize our government has just run rogue. And what are we going to do? We are now run by lawless pirates. And they've not only pirated the world and oil and resources, they've pirated American democracy. And so until Americans can wake up and figure out, well, we're waking up, we just don't know what to do about it. We've woken up from this terrible dream, and we're now like in kind of realizing, wait a minute, the nightmare, it's like when you have one of those really awful nightmares and you wake up and you're like, oh, thank God it was a nightmare. Yeah, except we woke up and it was like, oh no, it's real. And we don't really know exactly what to do about it. But I have faith Americans will figure it out. I have faith that we will coalesce and we will figure this out. We will somehow take our country back. And there are some great people running for Congress. Thomas Massey, he's got his 2 weeks away from his primary, and we really want to see Thomas Massey win that one. We've got Dan Bilzerian. A lot of people don't like the guy. Maybe you disagree with him on a lot of things. He certainly has a sketchy past, but I do like his current message when it comes to Israel. And people have just got to stand up, have a backbone, and say no to AIPAC, no to Israel, no to this foreign takeover. We the people need to take our government back. And quite frankly, I don't care what their other political positions are at this point, because it doesn't matter. We have to take our country back. We have to take our government back. And once we get our government back, then we can start squabbling about policy. But we don't even get a choice on policy. We pretend like we do. They gaslight us into believing that, oh, yeah, see, you guys just fight about something over there, like fight about racism and guns and abortions, and fight about, immigration and race, all these other things. Like, fight about all of that and fight amongst yourselves. And by the way, we're still not going to do anything about any of that. But we're going to let you fight about it so that you can have something to be upset over, and just don't look our way while we coalesce together, both sides, Republicans and Democrats, and do everything that is not good for the American people. But you know what? That enriches ourselves and our family members. And so until we can get rid of the swamp, truly drain the swamp, which is what Americans voted for, until we can truly drain the swamp, there is no point in arguing over policy. We have to drain the swamp first, get them all out of there, clear them all out, and then we can start having policy debates because it will actually mean something. Thanks for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, for free at KimIversonShow.com. See you there.